Guys, deluded. I'm back again. YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Thank you very much for having me, people. YouTube's also YouTube's Lucas Torreira. YouTube's Lionel Messi. Just about any mark of greatness should be attached, attributed to myself. But moving on, people, from all of that waffle. Like yourselves, clearly there's a problem. I don't want to say there's a problem in defense. I'm not speaking about our tactical outlook in regards to defending offensively and defensively. We've got a long way to go in that regards, but there's certain positive signs. There's certain negative signs. Balls over the top are still a problem. Early crosses are still a problem. At times we're caught high for no reason up the pitch for our lack of pace, in particular centre halves. But it's promising. But in regards to the actual personnel or who you could actually pick, like you guys, I've been sat here thinking about 3 at the back, 5 at the back, or back 2. Do we go with a young pairing, an experienced pairing? Do we go with the Greek lads? Do we go with the two English pairings? Do we go with purely experience? Do we even consider Monreal and Lichtsteiner centre halves together? Do we consider either one? Do we consider both of them in a 3? Do we consider either one in a 3? Do we go Mustafi? Do we go for Mustafi, Socrates, and Chambers, for example? Chambers and Mustafi, Chambers and Socrates, Chambers and Lichtsteiner. I've done it all in it. I just said a mouthful there, and I've probably missed out some combinations. But in regards to the City game, now this isn't my preview. We'll do that later on as closer we get to their game against them. I know they're playing today against Chelsea in the Community Shield, the curtain raiser for the Prem. But I'm thinking about City. We know us versus City. Most people will accept a loss. Not that we accept losing. It's just based on last season, they're a different beast. But if I look back, of course, when we faced them, you could say we were unlucky at the Etihad. I personally believe we weren't, but we could have done a bit better. That was a better performance. The less said about the final at Wembley, the better. Obviously, for me, it was a bitter pill to swallow at the Emirates because they were hitting us with the counter-attack. You saw a vastly superior side, and it felt like the fans, the personnel, the manager at the time, Wenger, everybody just accepted purely that this team is better than us. They deserve to win 3-0. I'm not saying that's wrong, but for me, I come from a place whether you're gonna win, lose or draw, you fight and you give it your best. You clap them at the end of the game. You don't. It just sounded defeating. So if I look present day to City, obviously it's a hard task. Do I think they're gonna struggle a bit this year? I mean, how do you quantify struggle? I do think they still are strong contenders for the league. Retaining it's a big thing. There's a lack of people that have retained the league in recent years in the Premier League. In fact, for all the time, that's a struggle. I do think City will break down sides with ease, but clearly teams have a similar way to how Mahrez, for example, how he was in his first year at Leicester when he was doing a madness. His couple of seasons after, he still did a madness, but it's harder. Mo Salah is a bit different comparing an individual to a team, but you get what I mean. Teams are going to kind of know how they play, going to try and mark them just that bit more, try and set up with them in mind a bit more. So they'll still cut sides down, but still be an issue. But if I look at us playing City, again, Bellerin versus Lichtsteiner, one that's really polarising opinion in my own head, because for me, firstly, I'm going with Bellerin. Part of me goes with Bellerin. He's had more of a pre-season and all of them things. Yes, he has his critics. Yes, he has things that he needs to improve. But I would just go with Bellerin because, again, I think fitness is overplayed and overstated. But it's a lot to ask of Lichtsteiner. Again, he's an experienced pro. He's played for Juventus. I don't want to use the pressure example for him, but it could go terribly wrong against City in his debut game. So you want to protect players, even like Godazy. You know, Lichtsteiner gives us just that bit more stability defensively and that street smartness, but he's probably, that lack of pace might hurt him. Either way, Bellerin, for his lack of pace, is incredibly naive. Lichtsteiner is slower dramatically than Bellerin and most wingers he plays, so he steps off a couple of yards. Bellerin, because he's fast, likes to get into a foot race, and like you saw Callum Hudson-Odoi, someone is always going to be faster, and he is very naive. And Bellerin gave away a penalty. If that's against City, that could be 3 points chalked off before we've even started, possibly. So I'm polarising opinion. Because of the issues at left back, obviously it looks like Maitland-Niles will get the nod there. Monreal, we don't know for his fitness. There's also a case of actually just moving Bellerin over to the left, like what Wenger did and playing Lichtsteiner. I don't know if that's something we'll do. But surely Lichtsteiner's got to be considered as centre-half, people. If I bring through the first one, in fact, before all of that, why I say he should be able to play centre-half, it's because we haven't got really any options. He's decent in the air. He's not the smallest of men. He's decent in the air. He's street smart. Like I just said, he'll drop off a couple of yards if he sees certain things. He'll be able to organise and things like that. That's the main thing. There's many people don't talk. I hear many people pointing fingers at Arsenal, but not many people talking logically. I'm a big fan of that. Obviously, if we were to play Lichtsteiner at the back with someone, we'd have two experience, assuming it's Chambers, or to a degree he can be classed as experienced, or Mustafi, two experienced, or even Socrates, two experienced senior centre-halves together. Me personally, I'm starting to sell myself the dream of a three. The first example, obviously, you could have a range of personnel, but ignore this for a minute. This can be Kevin De Bruyne. He's just there for image to simulate if a person had options for the three. Now, this is likely to be Sane, Mahrez, Sterling, whoever you want, people. The same on that flank. This is going to be Sergio, Gab, Jesus, or whoever. Now, this is our back three. Now, obviously, the first reason I've picked this is firstly because I'm trying to find a way of dealing with the threats. Not because I'm trying to just tailor the game towards them. I'm just thinking foot races. Like I just said, Callum Hudson-Odoi and Bellerin got caught in a foot race. You don't want Sane. You saw what Sane did in pre-season against someone. I think it was Liverpool. You don't want Sane running at you. You don't want counter-attacks. You don't want You don't want him in a foot. Move the centre half for a sec. You don't want him in a foot race because it's long. It's long. It's long. You don't want foot races. You don't want 1v1s because they're gonna put lovely balls in for Sergio, who will leave his man, or they're gonna whip crosses in early. To which I hopefully we're following. Hopefully, if the ball's whipped in from here early, we're following our runners. But typically, this is Arsenal centre-half. What do you typically see? Not aware of the runner, and this is Sergio. He'll just pop up back post. That's a goal for himself. Do you get what I'm saying, people? But if I bring it back, the back three, this could be a back three, Frank. Let's put him over here. Why I say this, people, is because, let's just say, boom. Lichtsteiner through the middle, Mustafi or Chambers, Chambers, Lichtsteiner, Mustafi, for example, yeah, or you could even put Holding or Mustafi on the left, or swap Chambers. Chambers is clearly our bet. For me, at this moment in time, he looks like our most reliable centre half. No way around it. Lichtsteiner, I don't think he necessarily lacks pace because he's fairly agile, but it could be a problem. He won't get caught. Even you could even put Lichtsteiner here. He'll be able to talk to Bellerin, telling him to not get 1 versus 1. He'll be able to allow Bellerin. Him and Bellerin can double up and try and deal with that threat a bit more. Lichtsteiner can talk to Xhaka and the men in front. He's an experienced pro. Yes, our system and Juventus' systems are different, but because of that experience, he can learn what he knows his job as well as everybody else's. And we'll just have someone street smart and competent with eyes in the back of their head in front and telling the younger players to play. Now, if there's Chambers doing his thing and there's Mustafi or anyone else, it looks different. Then obviously Bellerin, to help us deal with the pace of Sane, he can now get in a foot race with him because there's backup. Hopefully we deal with it, and then you shuffle across and things like that. Obviously, you could do that with Lichtsteiner on the right. You could play him through the middle and try and protect him because of his lack of pace, to which he'll still be able to speak to people. Apologies for not holding this correctly, people. But you get what I'm saying. So Lichtsteiner in the three would be a possibility for me. Obviously, I'm reaching a bit. We don't need the attacking players anymore. Let me remove him. You could obviously play Lichtsteiner and someone else as a centre-half pairing together. I do believe that's an option at some point this season. We'll see. Obviously, I hope Monreal's back for the City game because Maitland-Niles is in the full-back, although he has my full blessing to go in that game and play. But yeah, I'm not an advocate of it, but because of the lack of quality, Monreal and Lichtsteiner could very much be a possibility. But if you was asking me, at least in regards to City, probably Chambers, Lichtsteiner, Mustafi or whatever, Bellerin there. Where's the other ones? And then there's now, I didn't even want to talk about this, but there's now a case of the midfield. You have Torreira there, you have the runners there, and we've got a bit of solidification, if that's even a word, because you have De Bruyne are trying to pick up spaces, Gundogan, Silva, whoever, make it Sergio making lovely runs. There's this. City make some lovely runs, and they're big. They're probably the best team in terms of putting an emphasis on movement and moving just for the sake of disrupting the other team's positioning. At least with that, we'll be able to crowd them. We'll be able to remain compact, which you've seen in pre-season. We're shuffling a bit better side to side. Obviously, we can't draw too many conclusions in regards to that, but you get the point, people. I've got nothing more to say on that. Would Lichtsteiner be my first choice at centre-half? Of course not. Do I want to play him at centre-half? Of course not, but I'd be lying to you guys if I said it wasn't a possibility or it wasn't something I'd be considering, especially three at the back going into the City game, especially in regards to if you just put Lichtsteiner and Bellerin together, there's a case to play one over the other against City. You lose with one, gives you one thing and you lose the other and vice versa, but maybe both of them can help nullify the attacks. Counter-attacks were a big issue against City last year. Big issue. The Emirates game, the best. Obviously, if we've got a bit more competency defensively, there's more likely to be more people in position. If there's more people in position, we have more defenders. More defenders, well, we're less likely to get hit on a counter-attack 3 versus 3, 2v2 or 2v1 like we saw all over last season, especially away from home. But we'll see, man. Guys, deluded. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest if you wish. I'm out. Thank you very much for watching, people. It means the world. Thank you.